This is a ministry report from the Ministry of Retro Gaming.
Since Spacies.
G'day invaders, welcome to Since Spacies, and this is the Ministry Report, and for this week we're going to be looking at the sad state of console gaming. Xbox have just announced that they are releasing a totally digital only version of their console, the Xbox One SAD, or the Xbox One SAD edition. There's no disc drive on the front at all. It's going to be digital content only, so basically you'll be restricted to what you can or cannot download from the actual Microsoft Game Store. So we're here to discuss with fellow ministers Ash and also Maz from Maz Gaming.
Hello guys.
And Sorax Space.
Hello, how you doing?
Guys, who's more riled up about this, or who's happy about this? Who wants to start?
I mean, I'm more riled up by Microsoft's complete inability to name a console something that isn't completely shite. They can't count, and now they can't see that the Xbox SAD is Xbox SAD. What are they doing? They're awful.
Maybe they think all publicity is good publicity. I don't know. But yeah, I'm still annoyed about Xbox One, because that's what some people call the original Xbox, and now people have to say original Xbox and not Xbox One, or the PS1.
OG, they keep saying. I've noticed. Yeah.
I mean, this is. I mean, every single week so far on this report, we've basically talked about the fact that digital-only gaming's obviously, not something that any of us are happy about, but it's clearly, where companies are trying to push it, but. This is slightly better than the Stadia concept, based on obviously the fact that once it's downloaded, at least it's downloaded to your console. So at least then, even if everything gets shut off, then technically you still have a box that can play things. So, slight credit for that. As opposed to just, if they cease to exist, nothing at all that you own or ever leased is ever going to exist anymore. So I'm not as angry about it as the Stadia type concepts, and also the fact that they are releasing consoles with a disc drive alongside it. Then fair enough, but it's again something that I would never ever pick up for obvious reasons.
So, I think it's quite. Sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead, Sorax.
I was going to say, I think it's quite. They've played their risks quite well, because they're releasing it at the same time as they already have disc versions. So instead of just simply putting it out into the wild, into the next generation, a discless system. That's quite hard to say. Discless. They put it out at the same time. So. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Mark, that it's not as bad as streaming only. At least, I mean, I love physical games. I'll always buy physical. I say it every bloody Ministry Report and every podcast. I love physical games, but owning digital games on your system is not as bad as just simply streaming them. At least you own them. At least, if they shut off their servers or whatever, you still own it. The price point, because none of this has been officially announced yet.
It's been leaked. It's been leaked, though.
Yeah, it's been leaked. Yeah, so I'd be very surprised if all of this information is inaccurate, but it could be. But I'll be very surprised. So they're going to have a presentation on the 16th of April, I believe, to show off this. And the price point is the major gripe for me. What's been reported, $250. So the main selling point of this console was meant to be the price point. It's meant to be cheaper for everyone else because it doesn't have a disc drive. So it's meant to be more accessible for people that just want to download only, and they can get a cheaper console. But if it's going to be $250, that's quite expensive. And that lack of disc drive, you're meant to save a lot on costs, and it doesn't seem to be considered in the price point, which is a major downfall of the system if that's true.
So what are the reasons why you'd want to own this? Like, I'm stuck to try and think, why am I urged to buy this machine when you can just pick up an Xbox One S, which then allows you to play the Blu-ray, use the Blu-ray player, and also play your own games physical that you bought on clearance down the road. I just can't think of why you'd want to buy this system.
I don't think it's for us. I think it's because we always think about a particular segment of the market that we sit in from like their business perspective. And there's a whole load of people, like, there'd be people having the same conversation 10 years ago when iTunes came out saying like, well, why do I want to put all my music on a box that I can take around with me? I'd rather get a CD. And, it's exactly the same conversation, but it's the larger section of the market, the growing section, doesn't want that anymore, unfortunately. They're idiots, because if you look back, the whole thing of like, I always use the Blockbuster analogy. I love Blockbuster. Like, oh, Blockbuster's shit. We've got... we've got whatever streaming services now, and you're in a worse situation now than you were 15 years ago, because if I want to watch a film, I have to try and find it on 7 different streaming services that could potentially have it, and some of them, maybe none of them have it.
And that in itself is going to get even worse now, because Disney Plus has just been announced. So there's a whole stack more videos and movies that you won't be able to watch on Netflix or any other service, because I can bet your bottom dollar they'll be making them exclusive. One person I reckon that would be like cheering and all this and just gloating would be the former CEO, Don Matrick, when he got up on stage and tried to push basically what this thing is now in its current state. He'd be just sitting there going, I told you so.
Well, it hasn't got any success yet, so we'll see if it sells well. And if it doesn't sell well, then maybe you won't be smiling so much. But as you say, for me, you say who's going to buy it? We're in the Ministry of Retro Gaming, so we're probably not going to buy it. It's going to be new gamers that are going to be interested in digital only.
Sorry, what was that, Ash?
So I said, if it hasn't got Sonic 3 in it, I don't want
it. Why is the thing so big? Like, if you've taken the drive out, which must be a good chunk of what that Xbox One S and the X, that's the main reason why they were the size that they were. Why couldn't they have just made this thing the size of, I don't know, the Shield, the NVIDIA Shield, which is so small. It is like about the size, or smaller than a DVD case. I don't understand why they couldn't just follow that and make this thing as super small as possible. Or maybe they feel that if you make it too small, it will make it look cheap and nasty, and they didn't want to go down that path.
I think that's what it is. I can't see why it isn't any smaller. Especially as it's the hard drive is 1 terabyte, reported to be 1 terabyte,
which is just why
seems okay. But if you're going to be all digital only, and you have to download these games, that needs to be bigger. Otherwise, you're going to need external hard drives with this. If it's solely digital only, that needs to be at least 2 terabytes. I would argue.
Good luck with those 6 games, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And it's reported to have 3 packed-in games: Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, and Forza 3. And I think I'm right in saying Forza 4 is already out. So they're giving you an older game. Yeah,
so they're giving you the one set in Australia, not the one set in the UK. I don't understand.
Just for you,
decision.
Brian. That.
Maybe that I don't know. I actually prefer 3 over 4, but I'm biased. But yeah, I just don't know who this thing is for. It's going to be a hard push. Is this making it easy for PlayStation to get more points over Microsoft? But they are still selling, I guess, drive-enabled consoles. Wow, that's now a thing you have to say. They are still selling drive-enabled consoles, so maybe it's not a total loss. But I don't know why they're going down this path. I think they're testing the market big time with an actual console.
Yeah. I think they've reduced their risk doing it this way, and they're literally just using it as market research, essentially. Yeah. Just testing the market to see what the next generation is going to be like.
Exactly. They're basically preparing the market for what the next lot's going to be anyway. I think they're going to do it either way. I think they're past the research phase with this. They've got enough capacity. But I think the opposite of what you're saying, Brian, is that I think because I think this will be successful. Because there's so many people who will be into it, and the rest of the market's moving this way. People are prepped to work like this. It sucks, but it's true. But I think it'll put more pressure on Sony because they're not super well prepared and they haven't got the infrastructure. Sony have way more to lose. If Microsoft cancelled all the Xbox stuff tomorrow, they'd be like, all right, that sucks, but oh well. And if Sony was to do the same PlayStation, the company's screwed.
Oh, we lost Ash.
Oh,
hello. Sorry, Ash, you just got cut off there. Keep going, matey. And we lost an Ash.
We lost that. No, I mean, I think what he's saying is, it's is right there really in terms of Microsoft doesn't exactly rely on the Xbox to kind of keep their business going, whereas Sony has everything to lose when it comes to the PlayStation not working. So I mean, I think that Sony probably won't go down this route. I mean, it's not not only for infrastructure reasons, but just because like half of the market like us just doesn't want it. It really doesn't want it. So welcome back, Ash.
Hello.
So I guess just to wrap up, who here is even interested or remotely curious about this thing?
Not even remotely interested.
It doesn't bring anything to the table. I've got a day one Xbox One. It still does me fine. One day I will end up getting a 4K TV and getting an X, which is like at the higher end, and that's not a console I would imagine most people will be wanting to get just for the price point alone. But I'm just glad that is there as an option for gamers such as myself. I'm just scared though that one day that's not going to be the case, that they're not going to cater to the high-end gamers, to the people that do not just look at this as a pastime but as a passion. Yeah, I don't know, the next generation's really scary already, and this is just to me like a sneak preview of what we got to come.
Yeah, I think they're just easing us into the inevitable, to put it in a sentence.
I find it really interesting, but I obviously don't want one. What are we going to do with it? But to be fair though, actually, I have said this before, but the only saving grace is that Nintendo can't do online anyway. Like, Nintendo are awful at anything remotely online, so the only saving grace is that they probably won't follow this path just yet, because they literally can't even get online chat right. So like the idea of like an online only console where everything's downloaded, like they struggle with it anyway. So hopefully like they'll carry on with the cartridges for a little while. On Switch at the moment, like they've got a massive online store, and they've got such loads of people, and there's so few physical releases on Switch as well. I think I don't think they'll ever go the streaming route, but people are downloading stuff like crazy.
Well, you just reminded me though that there is one saving grace from all this, is that the Microsoft store seems to be the best out of the lot in my opinion. I know that there are PlayStation people out there that think the other way around, but either way, the PlayStation and also the Xbox stores online are pretty robust, and they're very good experiences compared to what Nintendo's got to offer. So at least if you are forced in a digital only scenario, that you have got a good infrastructure there, better than what's the alternatives are out there on the market.
Well, also there's the Xbox Game Pass, right? Which doesn't that undermine the digital-only system altogether? Because you can do that now, all digital, on your standard Xbox One.
Well, you could, very much, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, it's interesting that Microsoft actually are winning people back by not being dicks at the moment. They're actually being fairly good to their users. They're doing things with backwards compatibility. The Game Pass stuff has gotten lots of good faith as well, hasn't it? So if anyone's going to do it, I'd feel better about Microsoft doing it, because Sony so far have been dicks. Right? And Microsoft actually being as cool as you can be in this situation again.
Since Spacies.
Xbox One Sad Edition should make lots of gamers very happy.
Yeah.
Published by Microsoft.
Well, Windows Central.
There you go.
Yeah.